What's up, Cal family? Cal basketball just went on the road to USC, Los Angeles, where I live, downtown, and got a win on the road. I'm here to break it down for you. You guys asked for some longer video breakdown stuff, so here's me talking about this game for 20 minutes. Lock in. Boom. All right, so I figured we start in the second half. Just gonna do like the first 5 minutes, up until I believe there's like an and one or something. But the reason I'm doing this is because when I played, we didn't watch the full game often. A lot of times we'd watch, either the end if it was really important, or a lot of times the start of the second half, because usually you see both teams settle down into their adjustments, etc. So that's where I'm starting. I'm just going to let this play. I've got my arrow turned on to big. So hopefully it makes it easy for me to point out what's happening, and let's let this rock. So USC is just running a lot of exchanges, and, I didn't look up the heights of all these guys. They got like 9 guys who look like they're 6'7", light-skinned dudes who are thick. It almost seems like they don't really care who gets the ball, and I think that's, kind of good for them in terms of building a team identity that, everyone kind of touches it. But it also means a lot of this movement is extraneous. And our guys really navigated well until this last exchange. So taking it back a second. Now, this is a screen, but if you look at where this guy's back is to, it's to, I wanted to say Rod Benson, but I know he doesn't. I think he's retired. So it's to Theo over here, right? So this guy can only get open to that spot. Trying to go over the top there, now maybe that's what he was told to do, but it's going to leave you in a bad position now. Again, they kept exchanging on both sides, so this wasn't like that was the only one. Now, that one is more of a screen for sure, but I think he gets held up there, and then he tries to jump into it, and he gets caught up in everything. And again, maybe this guy's a shooter, I'm unaware, but just pointing out, like, even then he hit that last screener way after the fact. So even if he's trying to jump through this, trying to get over this guy's foot, Sissoko's foot, it just didn't work out. And then everyone helps, and they get the dump off. Now, I should take a moment here to say our defense and offensive schemes last year were both pretty good. I mean, I said it quite often. I would say a big difference this year, 2 big differences, is one, we just have inside presence on defense. Sissoko and Dort are tossing stuff. I'm going to try to keep it. Going to try not to curse. They're tossing stuff into the stands. Further, each player kind of individually seems to be more committed to defense, which is great. So we have Andre bringing the ball up. I guess it's fine that he starts offense from here, but keep in mind that this works, and it's going to work because they're sending a double team. So this is on purpose, but a big difference in this game versus the Vanderbilt game is Vanderbilt pressured the hell out of our team. Now, USC started to do that at the beginning of the game, but they don't have the same personnel. They're not as good at it. And further, Cal just played against that, so we were really ready for that. And you saw a lot of drives, especially from Andre, just straight blow-by drives off like brush screens. Either way, let's pretend this isn't on purpose. Well, then if this is Vanderbilt, this guy's closing this space, and we might have problems, because once this guy jumps, that pass is really hard to make. But it's really easy to make with this guy doing a fake flat-footed hand. So, because it's so easy to make, we make the right plays. Boom, boom, boom. And, it's funny because I think each team both made a floater, and USC's team got really hyped, and our team kind of stayed sitting down, and I wrote that down like, oh, is USC just more into it or something? But one thing I've learned about Madsen teams the last couple of years is we have a tendency to start a little slow, and I've always wondered if we come out like too emotional. So I took it with a grain of salt. Like everyone's kind of like relaxed, even though I got hyped on that play. And maybe that's a good thing. So now, because it's the first game I'm covering this way, important to note, everyone's in man. In fact, we played mostly man. I saw maybe 2-3 zone and a couple out of bounds, but we are a man defense team now, and I'm okay with that. Get all these exchanges. They're basically running the exact same play as they just did. Exchange. Now they're going to send 2 screens this way. Now, this guy didn't really look. The spacing was much worse, and even then he got through it better. So no harm, no foul. Pun not intended. Great defense. All right. Not only did we navigate all those screens that just got us before, what we have here is Blacksher on Abo, I believe. It looks like he's given up 6-7 inches. I don't know each of their heights, but I know this. In the first half, and actually later in the second half when USC goes on a run, they make like 10 shots in this area. In large part because, although there are slight height mismatches, the defenders kind of let them get interior space. I don't know Cal's scheme. The scheme I would play, and the one I believe they're trying to play because he's doing it right now, is to cut the middle off so that now you have the baseline as an extra defender. And when this guy goes up, he's only got so much room to make this shot. Whereas if he goes this way and gets all the way in here, he has a full gambit. So because it's played really perfectly, even with the timing, this guy thinks he's making a baller move. When in fact, he's run right into the 6'10" trap. And I got to give it to Sissoko. He plays kind of that Euro lower body stuff. Like, that's not a foul. And I'm only laughing because I had to learn how to deal with that when I got to France. That sucks to turn into because it's a lot of body and it's a lot of leg. And it feels like a foul, but guess what? It isn't. And this man just traveled. Also, shouts to the refs. Like, I'm pretty sure some of these refs were there when I was in the Pac-10, which is wild to me. Because you think they get better. Also, shouts to Will Conroy. Musselman recruited me to go to like Reno in 2011, and I was like, bro, I'm in Korea getting cash. Don't talk to me. So I don't know why this feels personal in that way too. Okay, great. This play we end up running quite a bit. This back screen to a ball screen to a seal inside, but on the very first one, Sissoko nails him. In fact, I get why we're running this because this guy's trying to deny. They came out at this half with a half-court trap on Andre, so clearly they're playing him as a three-point shooter. They're trying to get the ball out of his hands to deny him. Perfect play. Because with just that cut, look how this guy's body already moved. It's just bad defense, honestly. If I were him, I would have, as soon as the pass goes, I'm dropping down and I'm feeling this guy out. He's trying to avoid him. He must have got hit earlier, and now he's scared. Still gets hit. Look at when his hands go up like I'm open. That's bars. This guy's like, I mean, he's leaning on him. This is the difference between like pressure defense from like USC and pressure defense from Vanderbilt. Yes, he's leaning on him, but he's not looking at the ball. I don't know, he's not stopping a pass. He's just kind of got a hand up. This guy just kind of got hands up. I mean, he's doing the best he can. But Andre's hands are already up. This is good instinctual offensive basketball. I'm going to pause here for a second to say our offense last year to this point, I think, was better. Now, we finished this game at 71 points. If you trip, right now it's 44-45. So the rest of the game, the score is like 27-21. And McClain called it. He was like, I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle in the second half. I felt that way as well. But, the first 10 games last season, we were averaging like high 70s in points. I don't know. And I say that because we had less offensive talent, just straight up point blank, period. But because of that, some of these moves, like these back cut kind of stuff, it was just utilized more often. It was used better. So am I saying that as a critique? Kind of, but I'm really saying it to say our guys haven't grown into that yet. And I think part of my brain is processing like the late January, early February version of the team where a lot of those movements had become really crisp. And now that we have more individual talent, when the ball gets to certain guys, they want to make plays, as they should. Where the offense will be its best is when it can move like this and you get these type of back cuts. And on the next play, someone can take over and get their bucket because they've seen an opportunity or a mismatch. I think that's where USC really fails. Yes, all of these guys can score right here, but them just kind of taking turns doing it isn't really offense that's like hard to predict. It's just the same thing. All right, we're going to keep it rolling. Still in man. Now, every time they're on the floor, McClain and, actually during the Vanderbilt game, they really made a point of saying, like, Blackshear, he's going to be a mismatch. He's going to be a mismatch. So I'm watching, like, what are they going to do? I'm, like, almost only watching his man. USC almost never takes advantage of this, which I think is dope. And this is in part due to what you saw, that trap last time when he sent him back baseline. It's not that good of a return on investment. Like, yes, this guy might score on him if everything goes right, but if it doesn't go right, they end up in a bad position turning the ball over out of traps, so they stop doing it. So now, again, USC is running all these, like, random kind of, like, exchanges with no screens until they get to this one now. This isn't for a three-point shot, so I'm okay with this guy going under because, sure, shoot here. The rescreen is interesting. I mean, he's tall, so I don't know. A little slow to get through that rescreen, but that's fine. But Sissoko is so active. I cannot highlight how. Remember, I used to do these videos last year, and I want to point to something, which is I used to point to how little space Dawes would move. Dawes would start to play here, and the ball would cross all over this. Someone in the stands would touch it, the ref would check it back, and Dawes would move from here to here to here. In this little bit of space, Sissoko has gone from here to here. Now, he's got responsibility to help if on a blow-by, which is what I would call this. So he's going to kind of ignore his man, but he keeps his left hand up in case there's a pass going through. So this pass back is not easy. Further, look how quick he got there. His base is so wide, he's cut that off. Now, certain offensive guys might try to jump through that, maybe score, I don't know. There's a world where I'd like his foot like one step, like if we're talking perfection, because the best teams are going to bring that. Still, because look, the fact that he's able to make this type of pass is indicative of that foot not being up. But still, where's he making it? Now, I would like to say everyone's in pretty good position. He's lost his man, but I believe that's because nope, he's just lost his man. That's fine. But the ball's not going there anyways. Everyone else is in really good help position, including him, to where when this guy tries to make this pass, he sees that. He knows he can't make it to this area. Sissoko's hands high. This pass comes fast and through Sissoko's hands. This man he doesn't know what's happening yet. He has no idea what's happening. Okay, this is like the worst thing to be as a big man, is whatever that is right there. Boop. Fast break the other way. And a foul. And I want to highlight here that, I don't know if it happens in this 5 minutes, but Andre had, 5, 6 layups, dribble drive from the top. And almost all of them were right-hand finishes on the left. So I'm thinking, like, is this like a changeup, or is he like not someone who finishes with the left? And then eventually one of these drives, he comes right down here and does a scoop with the left. And I'm just like, oh, he's toying with it. Text go green. This man is not to be trifled with. Move forward. All right. Again, a lot of exchanges, no screens. You know, I want to make it clear that I don't know what the game felt like watching it, but again, Pete, USC finished with 66, I believe. So they only scored, first of all, 66 points total. A 3-0 team at home. Second, they got 19 from here. So I'm kind of calling out these things as being exchanges and not screens and all that. In part because, yeah, they're not playing good offense. And further, it's actually really easy to defend when you have a good defensive team like we do. Yes, they made a bunch of shots in this area, but this is the lowest percentage, lowest return area in basketball. So unless you're mixing in something else, when you get these, you get nothing. You get a bunch of guys scrambling, coming back. Now, I do like that Blackshear has like complete control. I like that he didn't shoot this shot either. In fact, maybe I'll end on this because I've kind of talked about everyone I wanted to talk about in depth. Not taking this shot. So I believe he finished the game like 7 for 11, but in the first half he started 7 for 8. So in the second half he was 0 for 3. So he still finished with a statistically great game. I need to draw a big difference between him and Jalen Cone. And this is no shade to Jalen Cone because I love Jalen Cone's game. They are different players. They are both small players. And when you're small, you kind of have to commit to your shot a little earlier, especially if you have to like elevate to do it. Now, it doesn't mean you can't like make a choice at the last minute. You see a lot of small guards do that, but they usually have like really big hang time to do that. If you don't jump super high, if you're little, you got to know if you're shooting or passing pretty much right away. And the best ones have like really good instincts on this. Cone's instinct to shoot was higher. And in fact, I'm picturing a world where last season, because Cone had, halves where he goes 6 for 6 from 3. And then the second half he'd go like 1 for 7, and that's still a good game. Hey, 7 for 13. You just had that cold streak. This is the shot he would take. Now, this is actually good defense from SC because they scramble, but Blackshear recognizing, no, he's not perfectly on balance. His back foot's a little back. He has a really smooth shot, but in this particular case, the ball's a little bit over his head. He's 25 years old, going on 40. He can tell. He can tell it's instinct that it's not going to be his best shot. This guy wasn't going to block it. He's just taking harder shots, more contested shots in this game and made them. But he also sees this. Now, again, this guy jumps into great position. Great. That's fine. In fact, watching this live, I'm so used to NBA these days, so I'm watching this live, and I look down and I see there's 17 seconds left on the shot clock, and I'm like, perfect. Like now we're starting an NBA possession. And he didn't take a shot he wasn't comfortable with. And hey, I'll live with that. Now, analytics in some ways might say like, well, we still missed a 3. He could have taken that 3. And nah, I disagree because that one got 3 other players involved. It showed the big man that, hey, I'm looking for you. Like, not this time. I'm looking for you. Because they do give it to Sissoko sometimes. We don't focus on it like we used to with Dawes, which is great. But they do give it to him. And he gets buckets when he feels comfortable. And he passes out. I am a Sissoko fan. Mark that in your calendars. But then, great. We give Andres space to work. He kicks it out to the corner. We live with that. Team effort. But also, because of the way the ball was moved, we have only 3 guys in the frame going back on defense, and they have 5. Sprinting. Even if they kick it forward, we've got guys. Now, hey, they took a kind of a bad shot there. and got that tip out, but I like this. Now we're finding players. We got a bunch of exchanges, handoffs, offensive foul. We're so much more locked in than they are. And I'm not sure this possession ends this way if Blacksher jacks that first three. And even if it did on that particular play, if he's someone who jacks that three all the time, eventually you see shoulders drop when he's missing it. You see guys jog back when he's missing it. But you don't see that here. Great. I guess, I'm going to stop here. Because, again, I'm still getting familiar with everyone's games. Ola Joseph is a beast, and we'll definitely show more of him. Blacksher, what's that Shaq? I wasn't familiar with your game. I also think Matson's doing a good job. I'm trying to stay more with the general X's and O's, but the individuals are doing great. I'm going to have to do something on Sissoko at some point because the way that this man is changing how the interior looks for the Cal Bears is just top notch. It's just really good stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. Honestly, that was real cool to see, again, Cal come down to SC and get that W. These are the markings of a good team. Can I keep saying top 6? I don't know. Only time will tell. Peace.